Okay, welcome to Carl's Tech Shed again. Today what I've got for you is something which I picked up on eBay just simply for its retro value, if you will. Now I've seen quite a lot of these about before. These are the old AMD Athlon XP processors. These were very popular about 10 years ago, back in the early 2000s. The only reason I bid on this one is simply because it's brand new in its original packaging, and apart from being very slightly damaged by the postman on the way here, it's in pristine condition. And as you can see, the processor is in there along with the heatsink and fan. It's even got the little case badge which you'd stick on the front of the PC, just in the bottom there. The heatsink compound on these, if I remember rightly, on these actual processors, the heatsink compound didn't come in a tube like it does now. It was actually just on a little pad on the underside of the heatsink, which you just peeled off a little piece of plastic to expose it, and then you dropped it on top of the processor. But what's interesting about these is I could never really understand this, because they always used to call these processors, you'd have numbers like 1700 plus, you'd have 1800 plus, 2000 plus, 3200 plus, and so on. But that was absolutely no indicator of the speed, because the speed was always much lower. As you can see here, where did I see this? Here it is. It says AMD Athlon XP quanti-speed architecture operates at 1467 megahertz, assembled in Malaysia. Now I can't see how they can connect 1467 megahertz with 1700 megahertz, because even with overclocking you'd barely get 1700 megahertz out of one of these. And if I remember correctly, there was still a video now which is still quite popular, which was made by Tom's Hardware Guide, which actually demonstrates what happens when you power these processors on without a heatsink. And these particular ones, the Athlon and the Duron series, without the heat spreader on top, these actually caught fire. They got up to around 300 or 400 degrees Celsius and just started to smoke and burn. So in that sense they were very unreliable. But in around 2004-2005, AMD released the Athlon 64 series, which came with a small copper heat spreader, which overcame that problem, along with more advanced thermal technology. Well, that's the end of this little video, so thanks for watching, and I'm sure I'll have some more interesting bits for you soon.